This morning on Richmond's Morning News, this is the Voice Virginia News Radio, WRVA. By the way, I'm looking for your text messages. You guys, let's go. Let's rally this morning, folks. Carpe diem, seize the day. Text message line a little light this morning. Just share with me a couple things. We're going to talk about this because I'm completely just flummoxed that I now feel old. And today's National Iced Tea Day. It should be National Diet Coke Day. Trump drinks Diet Coke. I drink Diet Coke. You should drink Diet. No, I'm just teasing. What is your go-to drink? Like, Vaughn, when you go out to dinner, you and your Mohawk, your girlfriend.
When I can afford to go out
when
to
you
dinner.
go out to dinner. And I mean, you two are cute. I mean, I like the fact that she's got that that look like the girl from Tulsa King, you know, the one she shaved her head on the side, but then it grows out long. So unless she pulls it back into a ponytail,
Yeah, you don't know. It's like incognito.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
her hair's purple, but it's nice.
It's not.
Oh,
anymore.
she
natural blonde.
natural blonde. Oh, I thought she did purple.
No.
Oh,
I'm red for the Canes.
right.
Yeah.
Well, she's not. I like her. She's nice.
Well, thank you.
Very, very nice girl. When you guys go out, what's your go-to just drink?
Arnold Palmer.
Arnold. What about her? She seems
water.
like a water girl.
She's water.
Yeah. All right. So what's your go-to drink when you just go out? I'm just interested. It tells me a lot about the audience. 833-804-1140. It's my own little marketing study, so we get to know each other a little bit more. 833-804-1140. James River Air text line. Read the best text messages at 655, 755, 855. And I've decided I'm going to take over the radio station. And at the 9 o'clock hour, I'm taking telephone calls. We'll do a talk show at the 9 o'clock hour. Take that, Richmond, Virginia. Your days just got better. 833-804-1140, James River Air text line. Okay, I do want to talk about something else on the program today. I do need to bring this up. Let's get you an update on what's going on with Iran since last we spoke. So how many times have we talked to Captain Brett Sadler, Heritage Foundation, about what's going on? Hey, listen, right now the blockade's working. Iran is up against the clock. Their oil is overflowing. They can't offload it. They're having to slow down production. They're getting decimated financially by having their ports blockaded. The Strait of Hormuz still continues to be blockaded, but it looks like the oil supply, other places are increasing their production. So the 20% that is being held up in the Strait of Hormuz looks like the gas prices, you see them falling down below $4. I can't believe I'm saying that. Woo, thank goodness they're below $4, but they really are. But yesterday, as Donald Trump was talking, he's saying, listen, we're within a couple days. I think we can get this deal done in a couple days. And he's been incredibly patient, trying to end this thing, getting Iran to come to the table, agree to give up their nuclear program, and to give up their thinking that they own the Strait of Hormuz. Just two things. Iran's like, well, in a sign of good faith, if you give us billions of dollars, because your presidents have done that before, that'll show us that you really want to be peace partners. On the left, people are rooting. I honestly feel like people are rooting for Donald Trump to fail at this because the Trump derangement syndrome is so strong. People that oppose the president are rooting for him to not succeed in this because they know it'll help him in the midterms. It's all politics right now. I sincerely believe there are some members of the other side of the aisle would love to see him fail, fall flat in his face. They don't support what's going on. They call it his war of choice. There's a lot of things out there. And I do think, and I honestly believe, the Iranians are hoping the closer we get to the midterms, that'll make Donald Trump blink, and that'll keep him from pursuing the end of this conflict by achieving his objectives of no nukes for Iran, and the Strait of Hormuz gets opened up, and they stop all this nonsense with their proxies. Now, on the right, people have been a little bit impatient. Donald Trump, what are you doing? Why did you call off the dogs? Okay, you say we're that close to what's going on, which you say we're going to get a peace deal any day now. Okay. The gritted teeth, I'll hold on. But after yesterday, things are changing just a little bit. It's 6:37 this morning on News Radio WRVA as you get ready to get out of the house to get to work. But yesterday, an escalation by the Iranians, they shoot down an Apache helicopter. Two pilots are rescued in the water by a, get this, a drone boat. A boat with no sailors on it, remote controlled, go out and pick up the two sailors. But Donald Trump has said, what's your red line? And people have been trying to get him to give us the red line. The media, Mr. President, what's your red line? What's going to, Mr. President, what are you going to do? So you have the media that's been yelling at him forever, what's the red line? He said, you know what? If U.S. personnel are killed or hurt, that'll be our red line. Well, the Iranians came up to that red line. They didn't cross it, but did they get within centimeters of that red line by shooting down the Apache helicopter. The two pilots, luckily for us, were rescued. And now Iran really has Donald Trump between a rock and a hard place because on the right, conservatives are screaming and yelling, no, you shot at U.S. personnel. That means you're going to get the whole ball of wax. Let the dog off the chain and let's go finish this thing. And that's what the right has been saying for the longest time. Mr. President, why are you stopping? Why are you holding back? Why haven't you finished this thing off? Why are you pausing? I'll be candid with you. The more research and the more inside politics I get, I do think Donald Trump, and this is my opinion. I do think that Donald Trump, in his heart of hearts, does care about whether people live and die in these wars. That's why he said he's wanted to stop this fighting in Iran, in Ukraine, because he doesn't want to see all these people talk about. He's the only one on the national stage and the world stage that talks about the meat grinder of this ridiculous war that Putin can't win. And he continues to do that Russian doctorate, which he just keeps throwing troops at them time after time after time, wave after wave. And they just become pawns in this bigger fight for Putin. He's tried to stop these. The fentanyl, he goes, I'm tired of this fentanyl coming and killing Americans. I'm going to do something about it. Venezuela, their leader, who's a big part of that cartel pipeline of cocaine that the profits are used to buy the precursors, fentanyl. Fentanyl comes back in the States. They make a profit of that, buy more cocaine. He put a big crimp in that. Close the border. He's actually trying to do these things. Now, his opponents don't like any of it because they don't like him, but that's some of the things I'm saying. But right now, he's trying everything he can to stop the fighting. He doesn't want any more bloodshed. But he's painted himself into a corner. He's between a rock and hard place because on the left, they are not going to root for him to win. They are not going to help him get an off-ramp. They're not going to help him one iota to try to succeed in what's going on in Iran. And on the right, they've been very, very, very patient. And yesterday I watched Mark Thiessen his head almost exploded on Fox News right after it became apparent that they were going to that they rescued the two pilots. He was like, why are you stopping? Let's go finish this thing off. And you have military expert after military expert after military expert that are saying you've got to finish this thing off, Mr. President. You can't just keep going on like this. Are the Iranians really going to play honest with you? Every time you turn around, you've had this negotiation with them, sir. And every time they've come back with ridiculous ideas like we want reparation, we want you to unfreeze all of our assets, we'll talk about our nukes, I don't know, in a couple years, we're going to control the Strait of Hormuz. They haven't moved one iota. And the other thing is, who's really calling the shots? Is it the IRGC, the Islamic Republican Guard? Or is it the Ayatollah that we haven't seen? Or is it something else, some other body that's controlling everything? So right now, Donald Trump, it's getting to be that moment where he's getting to that line. He's got to decide, do we still continue to negotiate with people that, I'll be honest, does it look like they want to negotiate with you when they're shooting down an Apache helicopter? Does it really look like they're interested in coming to the negotiation table? Do you really have any leverage over the top of them? And then you see what they put out yesterday. You need to leave our area right now. You cannot do this. You've seen what happens to other countries. That's a threat to the United States of America. You shot at U.S. troops. You shot your missiles and drones towards Bahrain, which happens to be the home of the U.S. fleet that's in the Middle East. You're attacking our troops and our bases And Donald Trump had a proportional response yesterday. 20 different sites were hit by fighter jets, trying not to escalate this thing. But as Iran continues to poke and prod and try to get this thing over one way or the other by forcing Donald Trump's hand to capitulate to their ridiculous ideas. Again, remember, you got two different cultures out there, and I just don't see how you're going to land this plane if you're the president with headwinds, tailwinds, and winds that are spinning you in circles right now. He's up against he's put himself in a really tough spot, trying his very, very best to negotiate this thing, thinking that a couple things, that Iran was going to come to their senses and go, we can't keep taking on this. Look at all this damage they've sunk our Navy. They've destroyed our Air Force. They've taken out 80% of our missiles, and the rest we had to bury so they couldn't find them. And yet they still continue to fight. And this is the thing I said from day one. Who will come out on top when all this is over in Tehran? Will it be the dead enders, the IRGC, the mullahs, and the Ayatollah, or will someone come up and replace them? Because if someone comes up and replaces them that's logical, that can understand what the West is thinking, well, then you have an opportunity to have peace. If you have dead enders that are so theocratic and such fundamentalists, then you're going to keep banging your head against the wall, and they'll keep coming up with these ridiculous ideas and thoughts and their own perception of reality. And that's what Donald Trump's facing today. And right now, he's getting pressure from both sides. This is a critical time. Either you re-engage and finish this, or the longer and longer and longer it's going to cost him politically. But quite honestly, I could care less about the political side of it, because we're talking about our men and women in uniform being in harm's way. But that does come into this, because it comes into the morale of whether the country is going to stand with you or not. But right now, the president is up against it, and the clock's ticking, and you're starting to see the right and the left both squeeze him. Remember, he is a transactionalist. He is not an ideologue. He is not a conservative, hardcore Reagan. He is a populist, that he saw what people wanted, and he sees the direction the country is going, and he's going to push it back the other way. But he's also a transactionalist. He will, like a businessman, have a transaction with the Iranians. We'll do this if you do that. He's not going to be a hardcore ideologue where we're going to stamp out this Iranian regime and we're going to stamp out their proxies. He's looking to find a different way to come up with a solution that's been around for almost 50 years. And right now, this is why no other president has wanted to touch this. This is why Donald Trump is, I think in my mind, it's pretty critical the next 48 hours he figure out what direction we're gonna go and let the rest of the world know. If you would like to comment, I'd love to hear what you have to say. 833-804-1140. But last night, the U.S. 20 different airstrikes back on Iran. Iran continues to keep pushing, prodding. They shot towards Bahrain, where our fleet is, and we'll see what happens. But right now, it's a critical time for the president. That's kind of your update of what's going on last night in Iran. You want to comment? 833-804-1140 is the number for you to join us. All right, text messages. We'll read them. Coming up at 6:55, 7:55, 8:55. Telephone calls in the 9 o'clock hour this morning on Richmond's Morning News. Today's show is brought to you in part by Men's Wellness Center. You know, they've helped thousands of men across Virginia for nearly a decade, with locations in Glen Allen, Virginia Beach, Newport News. Guys, I've just been talking about this today. Are you starting to feel old? Are you starting to feel run down? Are you starting to feel like, I don't even know what's going on? Like on the weekend, what do you want to do? You want to go to Virginia Beach? You want to go to Charlottesville? You want to sit on the couch just because you're tired and run down? It happens once you hit that age of 40, but you don't have to sit there and become a couch potato. You could do something about it. That's what I did. I called Men's Wellness Center, 1-800-410-3577, 1-800-410-3577. Sat down with a doctor. They checked my testosterone levels, said, Rich, it's okay, but we could do better. And they did. I feel great. You can as well. Here's their number, 1-800-410-3577. Mention my name, Rich Herrera, and that free visit will be yours, including the consultation and the lab work. Here's their number, 1-800-410-3577, or find out more at menswellnesscenter.com.
You know, paying $70, $80, $90 a month to big wireless companies, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile for unlimited data, that is...
I like